To say it another way, contributors at some level have said that they are in alignment with our purpose.
Mhm.
Um, and I think purpose and vision are two different things, and it's a little hard for us to talk about our vision yet, but our purpose is pretty clear.
Mhm.
And I have some examples that I could maybe make. Would that
I
be
don't think
helpful?
we have time. No.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting almost out of time, and yeah, saying that they share your vision is not the level of specificity that I want. Saying they are elected to your board is the kind of specificity that I want. Saying that you are sharing financial ownership with them is the level of specificity that I want. Like, what's the actual, like, they could sue you for some reason kind of level of they are now decision makers in this organization? What is that threshold?
I think it's an invitation to be a partner. I
Uh-huh.
mean, if we wanted to have
But what
a
is a
point
partner?
that
What is it?
might,
What is it?
Well, we've imagined a profit sharing and a decision making partnership.
Uh-huh.
And so, how we develop the um, profit sharing model
Uh-huh.
and how we develop the decision making levels of influence, we're still unsure of because there's nobody who's stepped up to that.
Okay.
yeah.
We've inquired with maybe one person
Uh-huh.
at this point, um, and I think that it's really premature for us to even figure that out until we have an entity and decide what we are. So we're kind of at the basic level of maybe having an advisory board, which is an
Mm-hmm.
invitation to just share knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no decision making nor profit sharing in that level with an advisory board. A board of directors is very different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's a liability with being a board of, being on a board of directors too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we're still so emergent, it's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, you can also think of it as, we're designing the organization as it is now as well, which means that the partner is you two. And you're
You're
more than
getting
one person.
quiet again.
Sorry. Um, right now that level of partner is the two of you, and you're more than one person, so you need to have some agreements, you probably already do, around how you're sharing power and how you're sharing ownership. So what does that look like now? What can I write in this bubble that describes what you're doing right now?
I think we can, and there's a distinction. What?
I mean,
Okay, why
this
don't
is a
you?
really, really good point. Like we've been talking a lot about how our relationship is the micro of the macro that we're
Yeah.
manifesting. So we don't have an explicit agreement about, you know, any kind of profit sharing or any kind of decision making, but I would say we're acting with a large amount of joint discussion
Mm-hmm.
with ultimate decision making being held, depending on what we're talking about, with Lauren or with me,
Mhm.
and we work toward having consensus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it'd be really good for us to write that out
Yeah.
and say, this is your circle of influence. This is your
Mhm.
circle of influence. This is where they maybe overlap.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And what decisions do you have complete veto over?
Yes.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
I would say that, um, for me, as like Jonathan is the one, the title of the land is in Jonathan's name.
Mm-hmm.
The vision of this, the overarching vision of
Mm-hmm.
this, originated with the vision that Jonathan had
Mm-hmm.
on the river. It fits really well with what I care about and what I love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's even with that, there's a, like, I haven't contributed financially to the same extent that Jonathan has.
Mm-hmm.
And my, like, I'm seeing where I fit within the vision that Jonathan has, to contribute and let it grow. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not originating with something that was like, this was my idea. It was actually Jonathan's idea. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm holding, I don't know if this is helping where I
That's more
feel it.
getting there. Okay, we're out of time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to you as
Yeah.
homework to think
Okay.
about how you two would like it to work if you got explicit
Okay.
about how you two are working together. And then just keep in
Okay.
mind, what if there was just a third person? What if just
Okay.
one more person came in? If the rules that you're making between the two of you would still work with that third person. So first
That's
think
a good
about
point.
you two, and then how could we fold a third person into this? If it can work for 3 people, it can probably work for 5 people.